You mentioned PBS, right? This is the Tigerland series and a couple other shorter animations you've been working on.
The Sacred Stories for the Native America series as well,
Right.
which was produced through Providence Pictures, which was great to work with local people.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay.
you know, they produced the whole series, and they brought in Hand Crank Film, which was
Yeah.
basically Brian Papsiak and myself and Dylan Hayes and a couple of other people to provide the animation for it. It was four episodes, 1 hour each, documentaries about all of Native America, not just inside the United States, but South America and Canada as well, different tribes,
Right.
and how there were connections between them even before
Yeah.
there was modern communication, and somehow there was this kind of network. So that was really interesting, and they brought me in specifically to talk about these sacred stories, these kind of myths that were kind of one-offs in a way, kind of contained little stories, and that was great to be able to kind of not just to kind of provide my own aesthetic to it, but also to be able to tell a story kind of from start to
Yeah.
finish, even if it's just like a 1 minute long thing. So
Right. And I feel like you got so interestingly abstract in a few of those, even more, a little bit more experimental almost than we get in Feral or Fable or something like that. Were they eager to work with you in that way, or was that something that you brought in and sort of pitched to them, or?
yeah, they were very eager to do it, especially Tigerland, which was a separate project. They would really push the abstract element of it.
Yeah,
And I think that's
yeah,
appropriate for documentary work. And I think it's
right,
appropriate even, before I got into animation, even I was more of an illustration. Um,
yeah,
that was kind of my field. And I think it's really appropriate for work that works in tandem with exposition. So
right,
if you have, with illustration, you usually have text, you have a narrative, and that's where you get the information. And then that, which means it really frees up the imagery to take liberties. To
right,
the imagery doesn't need to be redundant. It doesn't need to say the same thing that the text is saying. It
right,
can be a lot more expressive and abstract
yeah,
and evoke things that the text maybe suggests, but it doesn't have to
yeah,
be literally a copy of it. And I think this it's the same with this kind of documentary work, where the documentary is kind of it's talking about the facts, which can sometimes can be kind of dry and uninteresting, but then you
yeah,
can provide a backdrop to that with visual work, which makes it a great kind of union between those two. And with my own films, you don't have it's actually kind of paradoxical in a way. It's I can't rely on exposition with my personal work, so I have to be more literal with personal work than I do with the commissioned work.